Welcome to the Vibe Living Podcast, a podcast that talks about topics for women over 40. You know, that time of your life that many call midlife. That time of life when you can really vibe, be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerge. Join me, Linus Woods Mullins, certified holistic living and wellness expert for women over 40, as I talk about a variety of topics that address the wellness of the mind, body, and spirit for women over 40. Remember, midlife doesn't mean no life. Midlife is an opportunity to increase your self-love, your self-care, and your self-worth. It's your time to be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. It's your time to vibe. So come on, let's vibe. Hello, and welcome to Vibe Living Podcast. My name is Linus Woods Mullins, and I'm a certified holistic living and wellness expert for women over 40. I love to vibe, which means I love the idea of being over 40. Well, in my case, way over 40. Being over 40 and being vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. For me, and I hope for you, it's all about the vibe. So let's vibe. You know, it's hard to believe that less than 3 weeks ago, my life looked totally different. I was preparing to go on a trip to Costa Rica with a wonderful group of women. We were on our way to the Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond Self-Care, Self-Love Retreat, a retreat I've been planning for over a year. My whole goal for this retreat was to give the women a once-in-a-lifetime experience of self-care and self-love. We were going to do hiking, ziplining, maybe horseback riding, meditation, yoga, heal our souls through essential oils, eat organically, and really spend time discovering who we are as midlife women. As one of the participants said, we were going to be Queenagers. So you can imagine how it felt to find out that instead of having a beautiful time in Costa Rica, getting in touch with my inner self, spending time relaxing and enjoying the beauties of Costa Rica, that I would instead be isolated, spending time in my home, away from my daughters, my friends, and other family. I also had to think about being cautious, doing the simplest activities like going to the store, the post office, or even a walk around the block. What a paradigm shift. The time that I've had to spend at home, away for so many I love, has caused me to take pause. I know that I am not the only one who is doing this. We're all taking pause. But while we are taking pause and doing self-reflection and listening to uplifting podcasts and music, supporting each other through social media, FaceTime, texts, and phone calls, I think we can all admit that anxiety, worry, and fear creep into our thoughts. After all, we are only human. We're not machines. And the way we are living right now, social distancing, not seeing our loved ones, staying at home all the time, it does cause a very uncomfortable feeling. A feeling of living in a movie. You know, like those movies that have been coming out for years about the apocalypse, the end of the world, the Twilight Zone, or how about Silent Green for you baby boomers out there who are listening? Remember that movie? And so here we are, struggling to not entertain those dark thoughts that I think all of us have had. This can be a real issue, and I must admit that I have had the same dark thoughts. According to the Washington Post, 77% of women and 61% of men are reporting having feelings of stress and anxiety. 69% worry about themselves or their family members becoming infected with the virus. And a majority are concerned about the economic impact that could be worse than the Great Recession in 2008. Denying that we have those dark thoughts is not the best way to move forward. We need to acknowledge those feelings, those thoughts, the fact that you have had those moments of worry, anxiety, depression, and boredom. But there are things we can do to combat dark moments. We can devise a plan to move forward and to come up fighting with the goal of taking our lives back, our communities back, and reinvigorating our spirits. It can be done, but it's not a task for the faint of heart. You must commit to wanting to do what is necessary to keep uplifted focused, and motivated to get on the other side of this. We need to be ready to claim the blessings that I know exist for us on the other side of all this chaos. As Joel Osteen says, there is a miracle in the mess. And I think we can all agree that there can still be a miracle in the mess of this horrible viral chaos. There are things that we can do each day to move us toward a more positive, optimistic, and forward thinking view of life. So let's talk about what we can do. Let's talk about spiritual bliss. We can start each day in gratitude. As soon as your feet hit the floor in the morning, think of something you're grateful for. I know there's something. The heaviness of the current situation can really weigh you down. And if we begin our day with doom and gloom, then we have set negative feeling pendulum into full swing. What I love to do in the morning is write 3 things each morning that I'm grateful for. A study published by the Psychotherapy Research magazine found that writing what you are grateful for can improve a person's outlook and emotional well being. It seems to change brain activity in a positive way based on the MRI scan of participants in the same study. You also want to avoid too much exposure to the news. Talk about spiritual letdown. Turn off the TV. If you just have to find out, listen to it for 5 minutes or so, then turn it off. Any national, real groundbreaking news will show up on your phone. And if you just have to listen to the news, try listening to more uplifting news like NPR. They have some great coverage, or other great feel good news channels. Now, what can we do for the mind? Time for our Mind Move segment. We can get into a routine and make a daily schedule. Feeling depressed and anxious can keep you from feeling in control of even your daily activities. One way to counteract those feelings is to create a regular schedule, even in the midst of being at home all the time. Having a plan for your day can help to keep you centered. Normally, we are used to having a daily routine. The sudden absence routine can be unsettling and cause anxiety. So go ahead and make a schedule for the day. Perhaps the first item is make your bed. Number 2, shower and dress. Number 3, eat, and so on. Now, I know this may sound obvious, but each thing on your schedule is accomplishing a goal. There is a sense of self esteem and self worth when we accomplish any goal, even making the bed, especially if you don't do it on a regular basis like me. Connect more with others. Even though we have social distancing, that doesn't mean you don't stay in touch with your friends, coworkers, and loved ones through other methods. Zoom, FaceTime, Marco Polo, Skype are platforms you can use to talk with people and to see them at the same time. Maintaining healthy relationships and building a strong support social system is essential to keeping yourself uplifted and motivated. And what about the body? Well, I can tell you right now, getting a good night's sleep, you may disagree with this, but according to the National Sleep Foundation, adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Given the current climate we're living in, sleep is very important. With anxiety and depression, there is always an increased risk of insomnia. There are many natural things I can do to help me sleep. I use lavender essential oils or melatonin, sleepy time tea, maybe some subliminal messaging, meditation, music, sex. All of them can help you to get a good night's sleep. During times of high stress, it is essential that you get that full night's sleep. Also, it's good for your body to go outside. I know all about social distancing. That is enforced throughout most of the country. I'm not negating that at all. But it is imperative that you go outside for fresh air. Research from Sweden suggests that being outside is associated with a lower risk of depression, anxiety, and the effects of stress. Even if you can't go to a park, Just getting some fresh air while keeping your 6 feet from others outside your household can do you a world of good. These are just a few things you can do on a regular basis to help you with those dark thoughts, anxiety, and depression. While they may seem small and simple, they work. How do I know? Because I have had an anxiety disorder that I've had under control for about 7 years. But I have to admit, I have had not very many freakouts or any at all. And it's because I use my tools, like the tips I mentioned earlier. Give them a try. They will help you to vibe. That's it for this episode. Even with the current craziness, you can still vibe. You can still be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged as you continue on this eventful midlife journey. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. Please share it with your friends and family. I would also love to hear from you. Drop me an email at vibelivingpodcast@gmail.com or leave me a comment. All likes and donations on the Anchor FM show page are truly appreciated. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The links are on the Anchor FM show page. Thanks so much for listening. And until next time, don't forget to vibe. Thank you for listening to the Vibe Living Podcast. Please feel free to download, rate, share, and like the show. To find out more about living a Vibe life, go to my website at wellnesswoman40.com or email me at vibelivingpodcast@gmail.com. Have a fantastic day and don't forget to vibe.